Operation High Stakes is in full swing, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at one pro trick for every ranked map. Now here's just some examples of what's to come in today's video, from Denari tricks to Denari setups, hiding spots, C4s and angles. We've got it all in today's video. Now go down into the comment section, let me know what your current rank is and what you're aiming for by the end of the season, and as always, let's hit 500 likes within the first 24 hours, so make sure to smash that like button. Now we're aiming for 200k by the end of October, so hit that sub button, and without me talking anymore, let's dive in and get started. Now this first one is over on Consulate. This is the modernized map now, so there are now pipes on this map, and on the visa door there is a red pipe as you come in the door, but there's also another one in the server hallway inside the basement. Now you could set up a camera here and time it up, and if you shoot the pipe as they're walking in, it will actually detonate the pipe above as well and take them out as they're walking in the door. It's a really simple one, but such an effective one if you can time it right as they walk in the door. Now over onto Coastline for this next one. This is a C4 spot. It's been around for a long time, but it's highly effective, especially with pulse, so you can keep track of anyone coming near that drone hole. If anyone comes close to that service door, if you shoot a hole just in front of the beam, in front of the toilet, you can throw a C4 up through the window and it would land outside the service door. It's a really effective one, and I've used it multiple times and it has great success. And with the release of Operation High Stakes, the servers have been a little bit choppy, and randomly at times I have issues with high ping. And because of the release of Siege X, a lot of my friends are coming back to play Siege, but they play on different regions. That means I have high ping, and it's very, very frustrating and difficult to play the game. Now a lot of people ask me, what do I do about this? And I use an application called Gear Up. It's an application which basically lowers my ping to the lowest level. There's no packet loss, it's latency free, and it won't have any random spiking as well. So when you download it, it literally takes 2 seconds. You just enter your email address and you will get a new account with a 3-day free trial with any annual plan. Once you've done that, you just click on Siege and you press boost. So like right now I have Gear Up off, and it's just like you can see here on Bank, I have 196 ping, but when I turn it on, you can see my ping drop down to 140, which is a huge difference, and it's even better on servers that are close to your location. I live on the west coast of the US, and when I'm playing on East, I normally get like 60-70 ping, but when I'm using the application, I'm getting 13 or 14 ping, which I think is the lowest ping that I've gotten using the application. Let me know down in the comments what's the lowest ping that you've gotten, and if you want to try this out, you can use my free trial using the code DANGLE. So on the application, you go down to the bottom right hand corner where it says My Wallet, click on that, enter the code DANGLE, and you'll get a free trial to try out the application. Now Gear Up is completely safe to use, and they've been in partnership with other content creators such as Pekini, Atheno and Tequil. And I just want to say thank you to Gear Up for supporting this video. Moving on to the next trick, guys, and we're focusing in here on a stairs trick that you can do with Denari. Now this is super simple but a highly effective one because it's near to impossible for the attackers to see these trip connectors on the staircases. Now I'm showing you an example here on Clubhouse. There are other maps you can do this on, but there are also some staircases that are designed differently that won't work with the trip connectors. But this is a perfect one here for main stairs on Clubhouse. So the attackers are going to walk down and they cannot see the lasers, and they're going to get hit by them, so you could either have someone waiting on the corner of the door to peek out, or they're just going to be down HP and moving slowly as they approach that doorway into the hall. It's a simple one again, but like I said, this can work on so many different maps. Another great example over on Bank for that blue stairs can be very effective in slowing down attackers. Now the next one I'm going to show you here is staying on Clubhouse down in the oil pit here. What you can do is you can use an Ella Denari combo to really damage an attacker pushing down this hall. Now you're going to place all of your lasers except for one on the left side of the wall here, and then you're going to put the last one on the right hand side of the wall. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put an Ella mine right in front of the one trip connector on the right hand side, and what's going to happen is as an attacker drops down into oil pit and they walk through the door, they'll get hit by the Ella mine and then the lasers will activate. You can see here, once I shoot the Ella mine just for demonstration, those lasers will instantly activate and they will lose, I believe, 90 HP in the process. This would be great to really put pressure on attackers and pin them down inside of oil pit. Now on to Chalet for this next one, and this is a really sick Denari setup that you can do for the basement side for wine and snowmobile. Now what you're going to do over in the corner of the door here is you're going to place one just inside that shelf and break the little vase in there, and then you're going to come over to this bookshelf and you're going to shoot a hole in the side of it and place another trip connector. Now they're going to connect and you're going to have a perfect little way of blocking the doorway, and of course if they breach, open the wall. Now you're going to place the third one up on the side of the shelf here, and again, like I said, these are really difficult to shoot out, especially this one, and you can place it on the rim of the barrel on the back of the site. This is actually almost impossible for them to shoot at the doorway, and even the ones inside the door, by the time they try and peek in and shoot it, they're already under pressure from defenders holding, either coming from blue connector or sitting over by pillar. So this is a really strong one. It blocks all of the reinforcements, so if they breach in from boiler or they're coming in from the main wall, they're going to be really struggling to gain access to the site. Now this one is just on the snowmobile side, and this is to protect them if they try to go for the quick plant behind the trash bin here. So you're going to put one just to the corner of the wheel of the trash bin, and then one on the side of the pillar. Now you could add a second one if you want to really make it more difficult for them. And of course, like at the end of the day, he's been nerfed, so he's not going to do serious damage anymore, but it's all about delaying time, having them trying to use their utility to clear some of these lasers, because of course they pretty much act as a proximity miner and do damage. Moving on to this Kanal setup here for the top floor radar control room site. So you're going to place 2 trip connectors just outside the box door in the main side on the side of the wall. You're then going to place 2 trip connectors on that little half wall just off of Skybridge, and you're going to shoot the wall open so those lasers will connect. Now you're going to go over then towards the radar door near the top of red stairs, and you're going to shoot a hole here and put 2 more trip connectors over into the corner of the server room site. Now make sure you clear some of the stuff off the table, and you can shoot a couple of holes in the wall to connect these lasers full circle. Now all you have to do with this one is actually just move one of the lasers in the corner to line up with the ones on that little half wall, and you will have a full circle set up for this site. Now for the last laser, what you can do here is you can put this pretty much anywhere to connect up some more lasers to cause even more disruption for the attackers. But what I like to do is if you put it right next to the fire extinguisher just on green door here, this is also going to block green door, and it's going to reconnect up with the ones on that half wall by the Skybridge. It's a really effective setup. It's going to really disrupt the attackers, delay time, give intel when they walk through them. It's going to slow them down, it's going to do damage, so I definitely would try it out. Now over on to a cafe for this next one. This hiding spot inside kitchen on the first floor. It does require a Zami. It's an old one that still works in CGX, and what you're going to do is you're going to place a Kiba barrier on the corner of that little hood coming off of the oven, and then you can jump up on this little ledge, making sure you're fully standing up on the top of the ledge, and you can run and hold down your vault prompt, and you can get up on top of the middle ovens. Now once you're up here, you can create so many angles. You can build yourself a little fortress. You can use more Kiba barriers to block off if they do get the walls open, and of course you can also put one to block the prep door, so you can use that for even more angles. So it's an all-around highly effective spot, and the only risk of course is that if they do have a ram on the board and they're starting to play vertical, then you are at risk up here. So I would advise to move off the spot, especially if you've gotten a pick early in the round. Moving on to the next one, guys, and this is a Denari setup over on a Skyscraper, a highly effective setup. Now you will require some help with this one because this is more of an advanced setup, so it is going to take a little bit more time, but if you have someone using a shotgun to set this up, it's going to be more effective. Now this is for the tea room site, so what you're going to do is you're going to break that shelving unit inside in tea room and a hole in the wall going into karaoke, and you can connect a laser blocking the hallway and the rotate into sight. You're then going to come over to the window and place one there, and then you're going to come out into the hallway here and shoot a small side of the wall off, and you can connect the laser from that karaoke window out towards the main hallway. You're then going to put another trip connector inside the tea room, which will then connect with the one on that karaoke window, and you can also connect it up to the one inside the shelving unit here as well by making sure you make a hole so that it will connect. You're then going to come back into karaoke and place another one on the underside of this little couch here, and you can connect up as many lasers as you can by shooting more holes in the wall. Now, like I said, you could have your teammate open up the bottom of the walls to make this quicker and more effective. Now you can put one on the back of this couch, which will connect up 3 more lasers, so you're going to have this complete minefield for the tea karaoke site. Now some of the lasers are visible, but it's still going to cause massive disruption for the attackers in trying to push this site, and I really do like this setup, so I'm going to try this out often to see how well and effective it works out. But you can see here the finished product. Now like I said, some key tips to remember: it would be great to have a teammate help you in setting these up by creating those head holes for you and feet holes so you can connect these lasers up quickly. But overall, it is a really strong, powerful setup in delaying time and forcing attackers to make a more pressured play to secure the round. Moving on to the next trick, guys, and this is a couple of really sick smoke lineups that you can use for the archives side on border. Now you're going to come over here to this wall that's connecting between the two sites, and you're going to shoot out the top of the wall, and then inside the small office, if you look at the very corner of that rectangular light on the ceiling, you can line up a smoke canister that will land exactly on that archives door. So if they're going for the quick plant, you can do it safely to stop them from getting the diffuser down. Now the second lineup is from the same position, but you're just going to move and you're going to see that pipe on the wall above the bomb chassis. You're going to aim right in between that, and you can actually throw a canister that will land right on top of the bomb or alongside it and stop them from getting that plant down if they do get the single wall open and try to plant behind the bomb chassis. It's two really strong lineups. Big shout out to Pendant for finding these. They are insane, and he's always coming up tops with these insane lineups. And moving on to the next trick, guys, and we're going to take a look at a really strong Denari setup that you can use over on Oregon. Now this is for the top floor side. Inside games here is where you're going to place the first trip connectors. You're going to shoot a hole open between the wall leading towards the top of white stairs and into games, and you're going to place one of your trip connectors on the side of the wall of the reinforcement. You're then going to place the other one underneath the bunks, which will of course give you coverage on the door, anyone rappelling in the window or anyone coming through the breach. Now the second setup here is for inside for attic. You're going to place two trip connectors just to the side of this railing here on the wall, making sure it's low enough that they can't see it through the head holes. And then you're going to come across through the rotate, and you're going to place two more connectors inside the bunk bed and close to the line going across the middle. This will cover the window and of course anyone coming in from the top of attic and dropping off of that ramp down onto the lower level. Now of course they can jump over the railing, but that's going to be really risky for them. It's going to put them under pressure, and you can get a really good chance of picking them off as a defender. Now the final laser, what you can do is you can just tuck it in here behind this plug on the wall for the default plant spot, and if they try to push in, they're going to find it difficult to see that connector to shoot it out first before going in and planting the diffuser. So these are just, again, it's all about delaying time now. Denari isn't the insta-kill op anymore, but it's certainly important to delay time. Now on to bank for this next one, and this is a fun setup combo you can do with Maestro for this blue staircase. So what you can do here is you can place a Maestro cam in the corner next to that container, and then you're going to place a bunch of trip connectors next to the fire extinguisher on the side of the wall. I'm pretty sure Bikini showed a clip of this one, which was really funny, so shout out to him for finding this one. Now you're going to place the final trip connector on the side of the railing here, which is actually very difficult for the attackers to see as they're coming down the stairs. Now the fire extinguisher is blocking the lasers initially, but this is where the evil eye comes into play. So as the attackers are pushing down the staircase, the Maestro is going to jump on the evil eye and shoot the fire extinguisher, which will then activate the lasers, and the attackers will get hit, and it will do up to 90 damage. Now of course this is one of those things where you're using all your lasers in one place, so you have to really hope that they're going to come down the staircase, but it is a high traffic area. Now moving on to theme park for this next setup, I have a couple of options here for you on this site down in Armory on the first floor. So over in the back of Armory, you're going to place one trip connector right up against those containers, and then you're going to come over to the side of this little pole that's laying flat, and you can actually put it on the back side of it, so it's even harder for them to shoot if they try to peek in the door. So this is going to cover for that doorway, and then you're going to want to of course protect against anyone coming through the split door. So on the side of that red curtain, you're going to place one trip connector, and then underneath this little bench in the corner here, you're going to place the second trip connector. So this is going to block all the way across as they try to push in that doorway. So you have two really strong little setups there for blocking entrances into the site. Now for the last three trip connectors, you can just extend this out and make it even more difficult for them by adding a second one on the same split area over in the corner, which will give a double laser, which will do extra damage. I believe it's 30 HP. And you can do the same for over here by adding one on this red curtain as well, and this will block across the site if they do get that yellow wall open and try to push in and plant the diffuser. So it's really efficient and simple, and again it's about delaying time and frustrating them, and you can use the last one again to block block off maybe on the bomb chassis here if they push in. This is just the whole thing about Denari being super creative. There's nothing wrong with your setups. You can try any different combinations, but these are the ones that I definitely think will be highly effective. Now another option you can do is you can actually stop them trying to take out any bandits or mutes on the wall by putting the trip connectors across the top of the head holes up above. Now you could have one set up there and then wait for them, and if you hear them about to nade it out, you could throw it up there, and of course it will destroy the utility. So again, this is another useful option for Denari to prevent bandits getting taken out by any nades. So these are just simple setups that can be worked, and of course you can block drone holes as well so they can't get intel. It's just such a versatile op, and certainly a lot of fun to use. Now on to Nighthaven, another modernized map, and here's another really good pipe setup. So what you can do over here on the exo stairs is you can actually place a Valcam up inside those rafters there, where it's really difficult for the attackers to see it. Now as they approach the top of the stairs, what you can do is you can actually play underneath. Now for the example here, I have Valk with impacts, but of course you might have a C4 or a teammate who would have impacts, and you can wait underneath watching this cam, and as they approach the top of the stairs you can impact the ceiling and it will take them out instantly. Very simple, highly effective, and with good timing and intel, you can get an early pick in the round and help you in securing the win. Now a quick note here, I actually put the Paragon skin on the Valcam, so it's really easy to see them, so make sure you don't do that if you're using the Paragon setup. Moving on to Villa for this next one, and this is a really powerful angle inside the aviator room on the second floor. Now just off the corner of the maps table here, you can make a hole in the floor, either you're using a Rooney or just have someone shotgun holes in the floor, and then you can shoot out the top of the wall down inside piano. Now it's going to give you a perfect angle onto the bottom of the red stairs, which of course is a very high traffic area for attackers trying to push up towards the bomb site, and you can catch them completely off guard and have this angle set up early on in the round, and as they push down they're going to be maybe not paying attention to it, and you can be ready to take someone out as they're coming up the stairs. You can see it here from the other side what this looks like. They might just think that you accidentally shot the holes in, and as they're approaching the bottom of the stairs they're going to get picked off. Simple again, but highly effective angles, and you should be looking for more of these when you're playing the game. And moving on to Outback, and this is one of my favorite C4s in the game. You may have seen some gameplay clips that I posted in shorts and on TikTok for this. So what you're going to do is you're going to shoot a bunch of holes down at the back entrance of the map here on Outback. Now I would advise maybe putting a couple of mutes down to stop any drones droning you out, seeing what you're doing, but you can have a C4 go up through the drone hole and stop anyone getting the bunks wall. You just have to line it up perfectly by laying prone next to the green frame of the door and lining up with the top of that light. You'll see exactly where the C4 lands right outside the drone hole, so if there's someone like a thermite or anyone coming up to get the wall open, or just using a can opener, you can catch them off guard and take them out. This is a perfect example of me literally doing this in a rank match and taking someone out who's trying to open up the wall with a can opener. Moving on to Emerald, and one of the OG spots in the game, it's been around forever, is still usable in Siege X, and it's actually easier because the vault prompt is much easier to get. So if you just stand on the outer rim of that circular rug, you will get a vault prompt straight up on top of the piano, and you can vault all the way up on top of it. Now you can actually double down on this, and you could put an evil eye up here, so you could be sitting up here holding this, watching over the top of that little half wall. As you'll see in a second, you get perfect angles through the top of that door for anyone pushing, and then you can hop on the evil eye afterwards once you've pushed away from the piano, and you can continue to disrupt the attackers. And on top of that, you could also put a couple of Denari trip connectors up there if they're trying to destroy the evil eye, by placing them across the top of that little half window. It's really strong, and it could be really disruptive for the attackers and delay so much time, and that's the end goal as always with this game. Moving on to Lair for this final trick, and now this is a really simple angle that you can use. So a lot of defenders like to hold the end of that hallway there with head holes, and they sit behind that concrete part of the wall, peeking the door and the head holes on either side. Now when you peek this door, you're putting yourself at so much risk. You have full body visual for the defenders. So what you're going to do is you're going to come around to the side of this wall here, and you're going to rappel up, and you will have a pixel angle onto those head holes and the doorway, where it's even more difficult for the defenders to take you out. On top of that, you can see over the top of the middle wall outside over towards the other door where defenders might be sitting, trying to catch any attackers off guard. It's a really simple one, there's not much to it, but it's highly effective, so make sure you remember it when you're playing on Lair. So that's it for today's video, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed it. Listen, go down to the comment section, let me know what you'd like to see. As I said at the start of the video, what's your current rank? What are you aiming for by the end of the season? And of course, I always stream over over on Twitch, so come over and hang out with me, chill out. We're always running games over there. I do play with viewers all the time as well, so make sure to drop over and drop a follow on my Twitch. And of course, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload my next video. And until next time, I'll talk to you in the next one.